All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chicago Bears Daily. My name is Jackson. If you guys like Daily Bears content and you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Nice little rainy day. Here in Chicago. I was reading an article, PFF, which, by the way, it is a very slow period right now. It's a very slow time in football. But at the time of this recording, it's July 1st, which means we're 1 month closer to the football season beginning. So, reading an article going through all the rosters in all 32 teams and just a straight up ranking. Well, I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to too many people. The Texans, 32nd, ranked 32, so worst team. And the Falcons, ranked 31. And drum roll, please. Yep, no one's surprised. The Chicago Bears rolling in at number 30. Now, I understand why national media doesn't give too much love to the Chicago Bears. I can actually understand it. I mean, new GM, new coach, the quarterback, if you weren't watching Bears games last season, so essentially if you weren't a Bears fan, and you weren't watching the games, and you weren't watching Justin Fields, and you were just kind of box score watching, I can understand why you think there's only two better teams in the league. Because, I mean, especially, like, you look at Justin Fields' stats, what were it? Like, 7 touchdowns, 13 picks. Nagy was a nightmare. Poles was a nightmare. Ryan Poles. Poles hopefully is not a nightmare. To this point, he is not. But I think that the Chicago Bears are going to make some strides. You know, I don't think they'll be a top 15 team in the league. I don't think that they'll make the playoffs. I wouldn't be, what is it, like, shocked, not surprised, however the hell that slang or that term goes. It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world, but I would be very surprised. So, one of the reasons I think the Bears, or one of the positions I think the Bears are going to be making a lot of their strides in, is the secondary. I think that Kyler Gordon is a stud. I mean, Washington, Pac-12, you can argue Pac-12 isn't the craziest conference, but it's still the Pac-12, and it's still Division I football, and it's still the NCAA. Like, it's still everything. So I don't think anybody actually is really ragging on the Pac-12. Is that more of a basketball thing? I don't know. This isn't a college football channel, so maybe Pac-12 isn't getting flamed. But you have Kyler Gordon. And I've talked about this. You know, I've made Kyler Gordon videos, but the one thing that really stood out to me about Kyler Gordon is in over 750 defensive snaps, he gave up no touchdowns. I mean, he literally gave up no touchdowns. I know he wasn't cornerback 1, so you're not shadowing wide receiver 1 on every team you play, but nonetheless, bro, you could be at freaking... I went to Southern Utah for a semester, and I know the Bears just drafted offensive lineman from Southern Utah, and he's supposed to be an absolute G. Southern Utah isn't the hardest football conference. We're in the Big Sky with, like, Weber State, Damian Lillard went. Like, there's not too many big dude beast names coming out of the Big Sky. Even if he was a cornerback in the Big Sky and he had 750 snaps and still never gave up a touchdown, it would be extremely impressive nonetheless. So to do that in the Pac-12, to do that in the Pac-12, we're all over the place today. We are all over the place today. I apologize. I'm still trying to be as good as I can making these Bears videos. So hopefully you guys are being patient. I appreciate the patience. But anyways, Kyler Gordon, no touchdowns given up. So absolute G. Jaquan Brisker, bro. All you had to do was watch the draft to know Jaquan Brisker is an absolute stud. All you had to do was watch the draft. All you had to do was see how Jaquan Brisker carries himself. You watch the highlight reel, you see him. I mean, this guy is a dude. I mean, he's a dude. Like, literally, you could watch a 30-second highlight reel and be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. And if the NFL allowed, if the NFL and NCAA allowed me putting highlights on here, I'd be having highlights, but unfortunately they're stingy as fuck with it, so I'm sorry. But Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, 2 new secondary additions who are already joining. You know, I think Jalen Johnson's a G. I think Eddie Jackson's a G. I've made videos on the Bears secondary just being straight G's. I think they're all going to click. and I think they're all going to complement each other. So last season, Jalen Johnson he took huge strides, man. He took absolutely huge strides. He went from he improved his PFF grade to 64.3, which was a jump by like 10 points in his second season. So went from like 54-ish to a little over 64. So, much props to him. The current depth chart is Kyler Gordon, Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, and then the slot cornerback Tavon Austin. I can't believe I just said that. Tavon Young. Young is a young beast, a young up-and-comer, and I'm excited about him as well. Like, just in general, the Bears defense has me quite excited to see how things progress. Once again, I don't think that there could be like a top 15, top 10 defense in the league, but I think this season is a huge step in the right direction as far as what Eberflus and the Bears are trying to establish with this new culture. And I think it honestly starts on defense. Maybe it starts with Justin Fields, but I don't think Justin Fields will be a bust, or I don't think he'll have a bad career or anything like that. I think he'll be just fine, and I think he will be honestly quite perfect for the Chicago Bears in the long run. But defensively, you have a bunch of these guys who have something to prove. Those two rookies, obviously, and then you got Jalen Johnson, Eddie Jackson. Like, both of those guys want to prove something. Both of them. The whole goddamn defense does in general. Robert Quinn, I don't know how much longer Robert Quinn's going to be a Chicago Bear. Gibson, I read something recently about edge Trevis Gibson being like possibly in the entire league just one of those breakout players, having one of those breakout years, making a Pro Bowl, making an All-Pro, whatever. I have seen his name on some of those lists. I like it. Nicholas Morrow, if you guys have been watching the channel since I made it, I'm huge on Nicholas Morrow. I'm absolutely huge on it. Roquan Smith is not the best run stopper, and I think Nicholas Morrow's phenomenal at it. Fuck, why do I feel like I'm having brain fog right. I feel like I just messed up what I was talking about with Roquan Smith. But anyways, Roquan Smith has his shortcomings. Wow, I can't believe I'm stumbling right now. I should edit these videos. We're at the end anyways. Point being is this. Roquan Smith is a phenomenal linebacker. It is shocking how he has not made a Pro Bowl. I know he has his shortcomings, but still, give him a Pro Bowl. And I think Nicholas Morrow is the perfect player, the perfect play style, scheme style, whatever you want to call it, to kind of cover up Roquan Smith's very limited shortcomings, if that makes sense. I don't know. Hopefully that made sense. Like I said, thank you for all your patience. Still trying to figure out how to make these videos as enjoyable as I can. That's it for today. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Probably won't edit too much. I just bought a camera, actually, so we're about to change up this background here. And hopefully Eric and I go live some point this weekend if you're watching this and it's still Friday. So appreciate it. Have a nice weekend. Oh, shit, it's the 4th. We'll figure it out. Peace.